Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you my 3 best bets for tomorrow's racing. Now before we get stuck into that, I've just got a couple of announcements to make. First of all, just a reminder, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the links in the description box below, where I've got the links there to the latest In the Saddle podcast episode. If you don't know, I run my own horse racing podcast, and I teamed up again with my friend Mark Karosky and former jockey Paul Callahan. We had Paul on last week and we fired in some nice winners on Champions Day at Ascot. We had Glenn Shue at 16-1 and also as well Addy Airburn. In the latest podcast, we preview the weekend's horse racing action, where we've got some decent meetings at Cheltenham. We've also as well got a Group 1 race at Doncaster with the Verton Futurity Stakes. Also as well, we take a look at Newbury and the card at Aintree on Sunday. So if you haven't listened to it already, I urge you to click in the links in the description box below, and we've got all the podcast platforms covered, whether you listen to them on Spotify, iTunes and SoundCloud. Just click the link and it will take you straight to those podcasts. But away from that, I will quickly as well just recap on how our selections performed today. In the end, we would have come out with a small loss. The only thing of note that we had to write home about today was Mr. Pumblechook, who was our long shot of the day, advertised at 8-1 each way here on my YouTube channel last night, and ran a really credible race to finish in second place. I think Max Brown gave him a perfect ride, but in the end, I just think the testing conditions, it was really grueling out there at Fontwell today. A lot of the horses that are finishing were very tired at the end, and Chirico Vallis was a really game and gutsy winner in the end for Neil Mulholland, who had a really good day. Had quite a few winners at Fontwell. So obviously just bumped into another improver, Mr. Pumblechook, and that's kind of been the story of his career. He's shown a lot of ability, but he always seems to find one too good in his races. But I still think he does retain ability, and I think he's not one to discount for later on this season. So I think there was a bit of promise in that run. Oman was our next best of the day, finished in third place, got no complaints, just got outstayed by a progressive sort with the Godolphin runner. I saw quite a few people fancied him in the comments, and he really did show good battling qualities to just get up on the line. But Oman ran a perfectly respectful race. He was actually off the bridle really early, but he plugged on really well, and he probably is a horse that's going to need a lot further in time. So yeah, Oman, he's shown quite a bit of promise this season, but I think he's one probably for next year. But yeah, a little bit frustrating there that he could only finish in third place. And then the nap, that was very frustrating, ended our little sequence we had going. We were looking for 4 consecutive nap winners today, where we put up In From the Cold at Gorham Park. In the end, it didn't really go to plan from the get-go, didn't get the best of starts, and then was out the back, and it was a bit messy, couldn't really get a way through. And also as well, he was a little bit off the bridle, and he was being asked for an effort by Gary Carroll, and he was taking a while to respond. So yeah, a little bit frustrating from the nap there, but hopefully it was just a blip and we can get back amongst the winners tomorrow. And we've got 3. So to start the day tomorrow, we go with my long shot of the day, which runs in the 250 at Carlisle, and we're going to be going with a horse here called Romeo Brown for Ross Chapman and Phil Kirby. You can currently back him at 28-1. I'm going to recommend an each way selection, and you can currently get that with Skybet, who are offering a mighty 6 places on the race. So if you want the maximum amount of places, that's where I would head. But this horse, Romeo Brown, I think he's definitely down to a mark now that he can win. He's off a mark of 110, and his last win actually came here over the course and distance, when he scored in a novice hurdle to win off a mark of 117. That was in a novice handicap hurdle. It was a bit of a scramble home that day, but he did the job well and he was very game. But ever since then, he has shown a little bit of ability. He's actually been made favourite a few times in some decent handicaps. Also as well, on his seasonal reappearance last year, he did finish at Carlisle in second place. So it's a track that he obviously likes. He's finished first and second at the course, and I think he just needed his last run when he ran at Perth. I think you can put a line through that. I think he just probably needed the run this season, and I think quite a few of Phil Kirby's team have needed the run. And if you look at Phil Kirby's recent form, especially with his last few runners, there have just been signs that possibly the form of the yard might be turning. They had a winner at Sedgefield on Sunday, and also as well they had a winner on the flat at Newcastle yesterday, so the horses are starting to run a little bit better now. And this horse Romeo Brown, like I said, he's had some ability in the past, and last season he did still show that there were glimmers there, and he's now down to an attractive mark of 110, and it's a course he likes to do well at. So taking that all into the bargain, I think 28 to 1 tomorrow, he's a little bit of a price, and yes, there are a few horses in here that probably are maybe better treated at the weights, but I just think this horse, it wouldn't take much for him to get back to winning ways, and I think he's not to be underestimated in this race tomorrow, and he's a fairly big price, and I could see there being a little bit of money for him throughout the day, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if maybe he went off half the price he currently is. So for me, my long shot of the day tomorrow is going to be Romeo Brown in the 250 at Carlisle. We then don't have to wait too long, where we go with the nap of the day, which runs in the 310 at Ludlow with a horse called Goa Lil for Daryl Jacob and Nigel Twiston-Davis. You can currently back this horse at 5 to 2 in the colours of Simon Munir and Isaac Swade. Now this horse showed quite a bit of ability last season as a juvenile hurdler. He won at Kempton and also as well put in a few decent placed efforts. Now last time we saw him, he finished third at Chepstow at the Persian War meeting in a nice novice hurdle there. He actually finished third to Time White of Paul Nicholls, who looked really progressive that day and really did look like a real tool. And despite losing to him, I still thought that was a valiant effort, and I think he'll actually come forward for that run. And I think that was just kind of to get him a breather for a chase campaign. And it's interesting that they go to fences so early on in his career. He's only a 4-year-old, and that's an angle I like, because 4-year-olds tend to do very well when they make the transfer over to the fences. That's what I find, because they get all the weight allowances, and some of them really thrive off it. I can think of a few recently. Galore for Jamie Snowden, that's a 4-year-old that won recently 2 starts at Fontmile and Exeter. So that's one example where the 4-year-old allowances have come to the fore. And also as well, you might remember Fakir Dudaris last season looked like a promising novice chase at the start, and again he was getting all the 4-year-old allowances. So it's definitely a nice angle in, I think. And off a mark of 129, I think he's fairly well treated. Also as well, Nigel Twiston-Davis, his team, this is the time of year where you really want to be backing them. They just start to come to the fore, especially as well at the Cheltenham meeting, which is at the weekend. They normally always seem to target that and have quite a bit of success there. Also as well, they provided us with a winning nap at Kempton on Sunday. So it's a stable, I think. Their horses are just starting to come to the fore now. And I think this Goa Lil has definitely got a really good chance tomorrow. And going this way around as well, going around a right-handed track, I think will help. Obviously won at Kempton, so you like to think it will go well. Also as well, by the way it's ridden in the past, it likes to get on with things. And Ludlow can be a track where you can make all. And if you can get into a good rhythm out in front, in the hands of Daryl Jacob, I think this horse has got a really good chance tomorrow, and I think he can open his account over fences. So he is going to be my nap of the day. That's Goa Lil in the 310 at Ludlow. We then go with the next best of the day, which runs in the 7:15 at Wolves with a horse called Hemmsa for Ray Dawson, claiming 5, riding for Terry Kent. Now Terry Kent is quite a new trainer on the block. He's been doing quite well this season. He's had quite a few nice 2-year-olds. You might remember, the name escapes me of that horse now, but he had a nice winner and a really warm nursery at the St Ledger meeting at Doncaster. And this horse, Hemmsa, she's only had 3 starts so far, but showing a fair level of ability. Finished second at the track on debut, and beat a horse from Tom Dascombe's yard called Cuban Breeze, who's gone in a couple of times. So that form looks quite well treated. And then also as well, her most recent start last time at Kempton, actually, even though it was a competitive nursery and he didn't get the best starts, this horse actually did run really well, considering it got hampered after a bad start and looked like it wanted to go on and go forward, but in the end it just never got the gaps, and in the end did finish in 5th place. But that form has worked out not too badly, because the 2nd place horse went on to win a race at Yarmouth yesterday for Richard Hannon. So the form there doesn't look too bad, and this is I don't think it's the most strongest nursery in the world, and even though this horse is going to be dropping back in trip tomorrow, I don't think that's a negative. I think that's a positive. We've seen quite a lot of speed from this horse already, and I think if this horse can get the breaks, you can currently back this horse at 7-2. I think it can be the day where this horse can make it 4th time lucky on its 4th career starts, moving into the nursery handicap. So I'm really keen on the chances of this horse tomorrow. That's Hemmsa in the 7:15 at Wolverhampton, and I think we can get a winning next best there. So they're the 3 tips for tomorrow's racing. I'll quickly just run through those again. In the 250 at Carlisle, the long shot of the day is Romeo Brown, 28-1 each way, with Skybet, who are offering 6 places on the race. We then go the Nap, which runs in the 310 at Ludlow. That's Goa Lil, 5-2 win only bet, and then the next best of the day is Hemmsa in the 7:15 at Wolverhampton for the evening racing there, and we go with a 7-2 win only bet. So they're the 3 tips, like I said, for tomorrow's racing. If you are enjoying the videos, please remember to give us a thumbs up and give us a subscribe here to my YouTube channel at LuckyLoaders15. Also, as well, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do, where my handle is at LuckyLoader15. And if you want to find out a bit more about myself, check out my website, which is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.